Ian Zero is back, and this chapter confused me more than answered questions, that's for sure. Starting from the beginning, all the monsters have been destroyed, the gate has been resealed, and apparently they also wiped out the nest. Everybody's celebrating, everyone's patting on each other on the back. It was a hard fight, but for the most part, they could handle it. As you can imagine, the first thing Homura does is run straight to Valkyrie and hug her. Valkyrie isn't surprised at all to see Homura, which we'll learn about later in the chapter why. Even so, she's generally proud of Homura and glad to see that she's doing well. Madame Kagura is there. She, of course, freaks out when seeing Homura and just runs away. Valkyrie seems to be on her side, still saying that it's very complicated, the issue at hand. But before we can explain that, Valkyrie realizes that Homura came with a bunch of people. Obviously, Valkyrie's interested in who they are, and she asked Homura, and Homura responds, "They're the crew of the Eden Zero." This, of course, surprised Valkyrie completely. Had no idea there was even a new crew. And then when she looks at Shiki, she finally puts two and two together and that this is the baby. It's nice that Shiki is an idiot, because he realizes that Valkyrie remembers him as a baby, even though he doesn't remember her, but he still greets her like an old friend. So Homura introduces everybody. Valkyrie wonders if Witch, Hermit, and Sister are still around, and they're all, yeah, they're on the ship. Valkyrie's super excited about that. But then Homura's like, hey, why are you alive? And Valkyrie's like, it takes more than just cutting off the head of an android to kill us. We can put it back on. Yeah, I suppose that is technically true. I mean, Z had his head cut off once. Homura then gets mad at her and says, why didn't you come get me? Why did you vanish? And Valkyrie is confused because she then says, you were the one who vanished. And Homura's like, what? Yeah, so Senji apparently repaired Valkyrie, and it took weeks to do it so. And so by the time Valkyrie finally came home, Homura was already gone. So she went off to search for her mother. And Homura finally realizes that, yeah, that's what this world version of her did. So Valkyrie went to Xiaoming to figure out where Homura was, and she just said, well, just wait on the planet Crystal. You'll eventually see her there. Wasn't given a time, she was just told that she would eventually show up there. Like 10 years have passed. The fact that she decided to trust Xiaoming's prediction is insane. 10 years is a long time to wait for someone. No, seriously, this is something that confuses me. Like, how can you trust someone for 10 years? Like, she did not know Xiaoming. No one did. Okay, she just went to her because she was a famous soothsayer. So the fact that she had the faith of a soothsayer for 10 years, you would think at a certain point you'd be like, oh yeah, she's a con woman. But no. She trusted her. I mean, it's true. I mean, Xiaoming really is able to see through time. So it's 100% accurate, her predictions. But still, 10 years. So that's when Homura finally asked the big question, how could Valkyrie work alongside the woman who abandoned her child? So we have a little small time jump where we move over to Homura finally going to her mother. Her mother obviously wants her to leave and go away. She doesn't want to see her. But then Homura says Valkyrie's already explained everything, so it's a little late. So Homura's father apparently died really young, which is probably why she doesn't even know who he is. Her mother, without a husband and having to feed a child in a poor country, she decided to leave and go to the Jewel Planet to work, earn some money, and then bring back what she can for her and Homura. Now, just like in the last world, the ruler of this planet really liked Madame Curia. The only difference is that this Madame Curia isn't a piece of shit, and so he was then able to basically control her instead of her controlling him. Threatened to basically use his space laser to wipe out her home planet, unless she became his woman. Now, she went along with it for a certain point until she found a chance to escape, but that's when he attacked her homeworld, and apparently the war where Valkyrie met Homura was the war that was started by this bastard. Now, he wasn't trying to conquer the planet, he was just trying to show Kagura that, yeah, no, I can kill all your people if I felt like it. So the war didn't last very long. But the point is, her mother understood that she wasn't leaving. Valkyrie was planning on just getting rid of the guy, but as long as the satellite was there, there's really nothing she could do about it. Oh, and she also didn't owe money to Draken. Yeah, apparently he just had wrong intelligence on the matter. I don't even understand that one. I don't understand how Draken, of all people, collecting debt wrong. Like, how does he not know the person who owes him money or not? That's his entire character. So that's another thing that confused me. What's crazy is that even while she was still enslaved, she was able to form the Punishers as a way to protect this planet. I suppose even this guy needed some kind of protection from the monster jewel thing. But the fact that he was willing to risk having her injure her body, even though that's the whole reason why he wanted her, was kind of absurd. That's another question. Like, what? Why would you let the woman that you want to own possibly get injured or killed? Homura, of course, tells her mother that she's proud of her. Her response is basically to tell Homura to leave again, apparently. She just can't get over the fact that she's basically a slave, and that if that guy finds out that she's there, and before she can finish even that sentence, she just shows up and tosses the guy on the ground, completely beaten down. Kagura, of course, freaks out, saying, well, what about the laser? He's gonna kill everyone. What have you done? And they're like, oh, no, it's no big deal. We just have the Eden Zero blow it up. See, that's another thing that confuses me. See, Valkyrie didn't know that Homura was with the Eden Zero, but she knew Homura was coming. So, did she think that Homura was basically just gonna have to wait and hide and somewhat be with her mother, or what? There wasn't a happy ending when it came to Valkyrie's plan. Just another thing that's really confusing me about this. I mean, I suppose as soon as Homura showed up, she could have probably explained everything, and I guess her plan was then to find the Eden Zero and then fix the issue. I don't know. I mean, it just worked out because it worked out, but still, like, Valkyrie is not the person who thinks ahead. Homura shows her mother the doll again, and this time she actually remembers in this world. She, of course, starts to cry, then grabs Homura, and they hug and cry. Yeah, so Homura finally got her happy story. So the remaining members are Luga, Pochka, Lebelica, and Captain Connor. I can only imagine what their stories are like. Especially Captain Connor. I mean, Rebecca's still an orphan this one, so I can't imagine he would have a happy ending in his story. It means his wife still abandoned him, and he lost his child, so he's still, that poor bastard still got fucked over. But hey, it's nice that Homura finally got her happy ending. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, so you enjoy more Eden Zero and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.